Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And, you know, we have myths and then we have facts. So let's go over some myths for a second, particularly when you talk about the border. Myth one I heard was the GOP doesn't have any solutions and doesn't want to solve this border crisis. Really, it's not even a crisis anymore. I'd say it was a calamity. That somehow Donald Trump calls and then a bipartisan deal that will solve the border crisis is scuttled. And that H.R. 2 was somehow, which was the omnibus border security bill, was radical. So let's talk about facts. First of all, Donald Trump didn't call and scuttle anything. We want to solve this crisis because we took an oath to the Constitution. And in solving the crisis, we need a true bill that will do that. And the bipartisan bill coming out of the Senate, or so I should say so-called bipartisan bill, no House Republican even had any input on those discussions at all. There were major flaws in that legislation, and there were loopholes. Because I do agree with the gentleman from Massachusetts, of which I was born and raised for my first 22 years, that this is divided government, and you do need to have some compromise on really, if you want to get anything done on everything. So you want to strike a deal that works and gets things done. So I understand that we're not going to dictate. We're in no position to. But at the same time, you have to have workable solutions and not just things that are political but can solve issues. So let's talk about, again, some inconvenient truths. And the prior administrations, past two, and I'm talking about the Obama and Trump administrations, at this juncture in their presidencies, there were about 1.7 million illegal border encounters. This administration has seen that number explode to 8 million. There is a problem. There's something fundamentally different now than in the past. The last couple years of the Trump administration, there were 3 people that were on the terrorist watch list that were apprehended. Last fiscal year, it was 169. Chinese nationals, mostly of military age, under the Trump administration's final years, it was about 450 in a given year. That ballooned to 40,000 plus. That's alarming. That's concerning. The cartels have never made more money. They're charging somewhere between $4,000 and $7,000 a head. Can we have order, Mr. Speaker?
Order, please. Gentlemen may resume.
170 countries are represented by folks that are crossing the border illegally. Fentanyl deaths have doubled. We had, now other than a couple of outlier years in I think the year 2000, so for the last 20 plus years, we had never had a month where we had 200,000 illegal border crossings. Under this administration, we've had 20. In December, we had 300,000 illegal crossings. In FY 2017, there were 300,000 all year. There are things fundamentally different and wrong. The border is wide open. Republicans want to solve it because we took a sacred oath to secure the safety of American citizens, because if you're not safe, then you're not free. So here are our solutions. Wait in Mexico will reduce this flood by 70%. Ask anybody that deals with the border, any expert that's honest. Border walls and other barriers actually work. You find them around the White House. You find them around some people's beach houses and mansions in Malibu. And around when we had the State of the Union, there was a fence. For 6 months after January 6th, there was a fence. Expedited removal. Punishing folks that overstay their visas, E-Verify. Those are all workable solutions. They're not radical. The American people are crying for them. And if our friends across the aisle don't recognize that, they're going to rue the day come November this year. I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Reserve. The gentleman